Okay. So Bitcoin. That bearish divvy already played out. We have Bitcoin breaking a macro low. So macro just means like bigger picture. Um, there's a trader I kind of got in an argument with the other day on TikTok about what macro meant. I thought it just meant higher time frame. I asked another experienced trader, and he said that he thinks it means bigger picture. So if you're saying like the macro view, just basically bigger picture view. But I just don't see how you could say like beyond the 15 minute and say something like, oh yeah, that's part of the macro view, and like what? A bigger picture on the smaller time frame doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, there's a lower low here that's about to be broke, this low, and that ends the macro trend, the uptrend that it's been on. So when this candle closes, it's going to be the trend break, and then hopefully we'll have a change in the state of character, and we'll get a downtrend going. Um, Personally, I'm expecting price to drop back down to the 88K range. A lot of people think that's kind of steep. I guess it is, but I mean, we've seen Bitcoin do stuff like that in the past where it pumped pretty good and then it dumped. It made it to like 73K and then dropped to like 40 something, like half of the value that it was. So it's not unheard of. So I don't think it's out of the realm to think that Bitcoin could end up coming back down to at least 89K. But on the flip side, if it doesn't come down to that, flip the fib over. I like to use the candle bodies on the daily. So back down to 99. Yeah, 99 200 at least. And then from there, if it doesn't hold there, like that's when I'm gonna believe that we're going back down to the 88K range. There's no way that if this doesn't hold, we're not going back that far. The other reason I thought too is because there's just like a massive amount of liquidity resting in that area. It's like um, I put a long tool on there, and then when I looked at Bookmap on YouTube, it just showed a lot of heat in that area. So it's like it's definitely possible, I think, for Bitcoin to drop as far this far down. But in the meantime, looking for a day trade on there. I missed the morning New York session. I usually try to get in on a cup and handle, and today it would have been getting in on the cup and handle on a short, since it looks like we could potentially be going into a bear market now. Turn on some of my EMAs. So I use the 21 and the 200 EMA for just about every higher time frame. So from about 4 hours down, I'll use these as my bias for bullish or bearish. Picked it up from my mentor. Uh, his name is Sam Price. He's very popular on YouTube. Um, just kind of started to nitpick other traders' strategies and things that worked for me, and that was one of them from Sam is his EMA, his use of EMAs. It's like Sam's like he only trades if the 21 EMA is above the 200 EMA or about to be above it. So like he'll trade the cross and that'll be his entry. So if you trade every time the cross happens on a macro scale, that's a lot of big trades that he's catching. So it's like if he entered right here when the cross happened, then he would be up 28%. Yeah, even further. 31% move if you entered right when the cross happened. So it's just a really simple, powerful way of trading. I like to do the EMA cross on the smaller time frames, but instead of using the 200, if I do anything under the 4 hour, I'll typically switch my 200 EMA to the 100 EMA, or I'll just add my 100 EMA and trade based off of that. It's like when you have the 21 crossing the 200, it's usually a strong reaction that plays the way that it's supposed to play. But the 100 EMA is almost just like a little bit of an earlier signal. So it's like if you enter when the 21 crosses the 100, you can get a few ticks higher than if it were to cross the 200. But you can just use the 200 as a backup. So like if the 21 crosses the 100 and the 200, then it's like, all right, double confirmation. Like now it's extra solidified that we're most likely going the direction that I want. So trading is just all confluence. If you can figure out which confluences happen and line up like perfectly, it's a lot easier to trade that way. Um, Learning more and more every day, keeping it simple is better. Also learning. It's hard to gain a following on YouTube versus TikTok. People are constantly scrolling through TikTok, it seems like, just cycling through a bunch of garbage so quickly. And don't really see that too much on YouTube. I think gaining a following on here is going to be a little more difficult. But uh, maybe I need to approach it differently. Um, yeah, kind of used to that little dopamine rush that you get from TikTok of just having someone pop in and pop out. Scheduled lives, that might be a better idea. Scheduling them for a New York session. I think I'm going to start doing that. Just treating it like an actual job. Try to stay consistent. I'm probably live. OVO. OVO.